It's buffering. Okay, how's it going, guys? Cindy, what's going on? Scrap Owl, BBQ, Rando, Guitar Man Juan, Berlinda. Okay, guys, we got major news. I want to get through this information too, go through some of the news topics of tonight in the last 24. But the real thing that I'm starting to detect here is that, and it may be connected to all this drone activity as well, because this drone activity seemed to be coinciding with what just happened and what's been going on, I should say, in the preparations for where we're at now. So the recent taking out, and I'm not gonna use the harsh words, and I'm not gonna actually say certain words because it's very sensitive on YouTube. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to point you in a direction where we can talk about these things without any problems of censorship. Okay, because there are certain words you can't say on YouTube, especially if it relates to something that happened in 2020. You all know what I'm talking about, and it does, and I think that this recent elimination of a general, a high level general in Russia, and what his job description was, if you all know what I'm talking about, has to do with biological stuff and other things that have to do with, you know, we're not going to say the words, but he was a high level general and he was taken out in an operation that they're saying was NATO and Ukrainian intelligence operation. The video's out there. It just happened yesterday. In light of what's actually happening now, as of today, some major breaking news out of California. I'm going to show you what predictive programming is. This is what we're going to do in Zoom tonight. So if you're a part of our Patreon community, getting connected over there is very important. If you want to watch, I'll just say doc. If you want to watch the doc on the predictive programming, actually has the name of Newsom in it as a California governor, just so happens. And this movie was like 10 years at least, almost 10 years ago. Was he governor at that time? It seems like it's following a narrative here. But that's what they call predictive programming. So same thing happened with 9/11, an exact scenario overlay of what actually took place on 9/11 was depicted in a movie. So you have to wonder, like, why? Why do these things happen? Is it just coincidence? Is it just a coincidence, these things? Well, anyways, we're going to be talking about that in a Zoom hangout in just a little bit. But I want to go through some of the news. Some of you guys already know the gist of it. So basically, I just unveiled it in code here on YouTube. So for those who are a part of the Patreon community and support our continued efforts to get this message out, not just this message, but the real message. And all of you out there who are truly believers do support us, whether or not you're in a group or whether you're, going to our store and, supporting what we're doing here. It's very important for us to stay on the air. How are you going to get these dots connected any other way? So I'm sure you guys have your own research, avenues as well. But hey, we're a very vital part of that. You understand, Blazing Press is a very important part of the pieces of the puzzle that are being brought together. So don't discount our efforts here and minimize them, especially you critics out there and drones, trolls, drones. I'm thinking drones, man. Hey, did you see that video I just posted about the drone? Well, it wasn't a drone. It was an orb, they say. So they're saying these orbs are actually happening at the same time. This woman is focusing in her camera really close on it, and you can see all these little squiggly little lines. But every time she says Jesus or God, it goes all crazy, like almost as if it's listening to her. And I've heard people say this, that they actually can pray or call out to these things, and they actually listen. They actually are affected by your thoughts. people that are really into UFOs will tell you this too. They actually do like seances to try to call these things, and they'll actually see the phenomenon because they do these seances or whatever. I don't know what they're doing. They're calling on, which you shouldn't do. I'm not telling you to do this, okay? I'm not saying this is a good thing. I'm just saying we got video evidence of it right here. So, but anyways, there's a lot of drone activity still ongoing right now. But we're going to go through a real quick view and detailed some of the current news things, the current news that's in the cycle here. And I'm just going to go through this really quickly here before our meeting starts. Let me just get it up and running here so you can see it. Oh, what did I just do? There, okay, there we go. The Patreon link is below the description there. You should see it in there. Should be right there underneath the video. Yeah. Somebody said that play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Are you talking about the lady that's talking to the orb? She actually says Jesus and God, and it's almost like she's talking to it as if it's a friend. Kind of weird, huh? Yeah, that's pretty bizarro. Okay, so here we go. And I'm not going to say some of the words there because it will. I've had this happen before, believe me. They're very particular about what you say here now on this particular topic. So there's the orb video. Let's see if I can show you what it looks like here. Let's see if I can pull it up here, the orb video. And we'll just get another screen up here so you can see it. So here's the orb video. Now this woman, she gets a very close up. She has a very good camera. You can see it kind of pulsating. And when she says Jesus, the thing goes crazy. Watch. Watch this. Let me see if I got my sound up here. Okay, look at this part.
Can you hear me? Jesus loves me. Oh, you know Jesus.
Look, is that weird? Okay, so then it calms down, and then she says God. Watch this.
Jesus is awesome, isn't he? Yes, he is.
So it's calm, right? And now she does it again. It's almost like it's responding. It's almost like it actually responds to her. I mean, it's literally like the thing. Now, I've heard people say this before, that they have actually telepathically communicated to orbs. Have you ever heard anybody tell you that, or heard it on YouTube, or people that are into UFOs? They'll tell you this, that they can conjure them. They can actually call on them, and they'll appear in the sky, and then they take video footage of it. And there's different people that have actually said this online, especially those that have a lot of evidence on video, and they'll actually follow these people. And they've even had people that are into the phenomenon, that are trying to scientifically look into this phenomenon, follow these people, because for some reason, these orbs always show up where they are, because they call on them. They somehow communicate to them. So you got to kind of wonder about that. What is it? Demonic? Is it demonic? What is it? Is it an angel? What do you guys think? Okay, here we go. Widespread power outages in several areas in Yemen as a result of the Israeli attacks. There's a huge attack that's happened inside of Yemen. Lots of video coming out, major explosions happening. I don't know if it's U.S. involvement as well, but it is in response to what happened, I guess, earlier today when Yemen sent a bunch of missiles into Israel in the Tel Aviv area. And I guess a lot of missiles came in. I don't know how many got through the Iron Dome, but they were supposedly, from what I heard, there was some penetration through the defenses inside of Israel. But I did see those alerts go off earlier in the day, and this was the result. Israel responds. Now they're saying it's possibly U.S. involvement too, or just Israel itself. But you can see some major, major explosions. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of those. As you can see here. Whoops. Let's try to pull that one up. Look at those look at that. Imagine looking out your window and seeing that.
Wow, wow.
And you see that was the actual percussion of the explosion. It took that long to actually hit the house. And it affected the windows and different things. You can hear it impact.
La ilaha illallah.
So some pretty large explosions. So there you go on that video footage there. And then here's some more missiles that came into Tel Aviv. This was coming in from Yemen, and that was what you saw was the response. But you can see some of these missiles incoming from Yemen here. It looks like some of them came through. Like this one looked like it actually was close to the ground, so it probably ended up impacting. But how big are these incoming missiles compared to what Israel's dropping on Yemen? Probably very insignificant in terms of their destructive ability. What you saw in Yemen was very large incendiaries. Definitely, these are like shooting spitballs, as opposed to, I don't know how you would even compare it. These are coming from long range. I bet you that the attacks inside of Yemen were probably done from offshore, probably some naval vessels. I wouldn't doubt that the U.S. wasn't involved in that. But you probably have some longer range missiles that are coming off of the Navy ships. Or it could be that there's bombers up in the air too. We're flying all around there now in preparation and the anticipation. They probably anticipate this too. So this isn't something that's probably even caught the U.S. or Israel by surprise. They're probably expecting it. So they're just waiting for the opportunity to destroy a bunch of stuff. And that's Israel, Tel Aviv area. Now, I'm sure that there wasn't that many impacts. I think that they just put these little dots here to make it look like it's really bad. But, it sounds to me like only a few incoming missiles. And what it does is it sets off all these alarms. So I can't see that there were that many missiles coming into Israel. I just think that that's alarm centers that were going off. That's the only thing I can think. Because anytime I see some incoming missiles, I see all these alerts and these little pins, and they, Kumta alerts just going off the chart, and yet very little video footage coming out of Israel to show any confirmation of any major attack that's happening. But, we get lots of video footage out of all these other countries that are being bombed, and we can see the definite explosions, but not in Israel. I thought this was an interesting post. Trump says that he's not a fan of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, which are not money, he says, and whose value is highly volatile. And that's true. And he says that, and it's based on thin air. Unregulated crypto assets can facilitate unlawful behavior, he said, including drug trade and other illegal activity. That's interesting. Yeah, thin air and, volatile, to say the least. What happened just today? I think, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 in value disappeared in just a few minutes on Bitcoin. That's pretty volatile. Yeah, that is pretty volatile. So it depends on how you get in and how long you stay in. And it's kind of like the house. The house never loses in the end because it knows what's coming. But for anybody that's getting in at the wrong time, you'll lose everything. And are you going to stay in and let it, what they call hodl? Are you going to hodl it? They always say hodl when you're a crypto person. You know what I'm talking about. But is it a deception? Is it going to vanish into thin air for anybody that does get in? Is it really going to go up to $1 million? Is our country's new currency going to be based on Bitcoin, which they say was highly decentralized, right? Highly decentralized and anonymous. But $200 billion has been confiscated, so I don't see how it can be anonymous, and I don't see how it can be unregulated, because it sounds to me like it is highly regulated, whether the people that are in it know it or not. I think it's going to become the prison, the digital prison that everybody's going to be held in, monetarily speaking, because the people that got paid to build Bitcoin actually built their own prison. And they're little evangelists out there promoting it to the ends of the earth, telling everybody how rich they got doing it. And then they're going to pull the rug out from underneath everybody. And they've got the whole blockchain already set up now because of everybody's participation. It's not about anything that these people promote. It's kind of, what it reminds me of? If any of you out there have ever been in a multi-level marketing company, it doesn't matter what kind of product, it could be toothpaste, soap, vitamins, whatever. If you've ever been in an MLM or a multi-level marketing networking kind of business, you'll know that it's the best thing since sliced cheese. Anytime they're going to promote, they're going to tell you, they're going to sell it. It's going to the moon. You're on the ground floor. You're going to make $1 million. Get in now before it's too late. If this is what cryptocurrencies remind me of. It's like, yeah, they might be good for the short term if you really know what you're doing and you're a snake and you understand, and maybe you saw it coming way ahead, and yeah, there might be something to be made. But the majority of people that get in on the back end are going to lose their shirt. They're going to lose everything. They ain't going to make no money. 95% of the people that get into multi-level marketing don't make a dime. The real statistics are out there. Okay, there's only a very small minority of people that actually do make money, and the same thing happens here. This cryptocurrency is a big fraud, sham. It's not even real money. It's not backed by anything except for well wishes and hopium, which any marketer can produce hopium for you. Oh yeah, it's the best thing. Go out and get some. It's great. It's going to sustain you in times of trouble. When everything shuts off, just go to your Bitcoin, ATM and pull the money out. Or maybe you could just pray and hope that we can deliver it through, osmosis, and it'll sustain you when you're hungry. Because everything is going to be affected by critical infrastructure in a time of war. You cannot depend on the grid. Your cryptos are not going to save you. The S&P lost 3%, biggest huge post-Fed drop since March 2020. This harkens back to the days of big-time economic trouble right after the big, China sneeze. Okay, so S&P falls 3%, and I think the Dow was down like $1,200 or something like that, or 1,200 points, I should say, 1,200 points. Cryptos went down. I think cryptos went down like Bitcoin was, I don't know, 7,000 or 8,000. I don't remember. It was a huge amount. 5 hours. In 5 hours, it lost 5,000. Like it was a huge amount. And they're making their charts here to show you where things are going. Not in a good direction, guys. If you can see, it's going to keep going down. Now, whoops. Where did I go? Shoot. I lost it. How far did I go off the charts here, man? So this thing is just going to keep going down, down, down. Let me make sure I got my cursor on here. Oh, shoot. What the heck did I just do? Okay, can you see this? Okay, so yeah. So you know how to read charts and how they work. They have a tendency to go up and down, but they go down farther than they go up, and then they go up and then they go down. They go down farther than they go up and a down, up and a down, up. Oh, let's get everybody in right now, and then really far down next time. It's probably going to be like this, right? Like this. The next downturn is going to be way down here. You could probably just bank on it. The meltdown is coming. This sham can't continue on forever, and this is where we're at. Dow tanks by 1,100 points. First 10-day. This is a 10-day losing streak. The first one since 1974. Wasn't that during the time of Jimmy Carter? I love this little baby because this reminds me of my daughter. Sometimes she's so sweet, and all of a sudden she turns into just in an instant. Like in an instant, man. I'm like, what happened? I don't know. But I said, this is me, 2016, Trump, and then wake up call, 2020. I woke up. That was me in 2020 on Trump. Okay, here we go. Uh-oh. This is what we're going to be talking about. This is what we're going to talk about. We're going to get into that here in just a minute. Gruesome Newsom. Uh-oh. No more eggs, just like we told you. Your chickens are going to be laying golden eggs. You're not going to find them anymore. They're going to be gone. Gone. This is all in preparation. This is all being scripted out. Very, very troubling. Very troubling. I had an interesting dream today. I shared earlier. If you're a person that studies dreams and, it might have some import to you, you might want to check it out because it does coincide with what's happening in the news right now as of today. This is very troubling as well. They're linking this taking out of their general to the U.S., by the way. Did you know that? North Korea is about to launch another ICBM here real soon. It should have happened by now, but they're still waiting on it. U.S. or Russian are making moves in Libya. The Russians are definitely making offensive moves now, and the U.S. is monitoring. Netanyahu instructs the Israeli army to remain on Mount Hermon. We did a very interesting post yesterday or day before on Mount Hermon. You got to check that out. That is very, very connected to history and to myth, legend, and spiritual connections to Scripture. Actually, Mount Hermon, a portal. Literally, it's looked at as a portal to the gods. And why are the Israelis now in possession of it? On the very day, right around the same day or right around the same period, within a few hours, a massive tornado slams into California, right on Mount Hermon Street. I thought that was kind of interesting. Just so happened that all the damage that was done and the cars that were flipped over and people that got hurt right on Mount Herman Highway. But no, the whole Mount Herman thing, I went into a deep dive on its connections to the occult and to what the ancients considered to be a portal into our earthly space, which goes all the way back to Genesis, talked about in the book of Jude. It's also talked about in, book of Jubilees and also the book of Enoch. So if you're not familiar with all that, we do the deep dive on that somewhere back there on one of our videos. You can go check it out. Okay, it's 8 o'clock. I got to be gone in just a minute. We're going to go through this movie doc. Very interesting information. Get connected to us on Patreon. Support the cause. Get behind us. We definitely need to, we don't want to beg, but we definitely need some supporters out there. We do have a few good supporters that are standing with us and have been for a while, but we need regular and a number more of you out there to get behind what we're doing. So this is why we got the Patreon going. And plus, I can say things back there. It's like the catacombs. We're not going to get, docked and censored off, okay? Plus, it gets rid of all the trolls, too, because the trolls don't want to support what we're doing, right? All you trolls out there, just gnash your teeth from afar. There you go. But we're going to be live in just a few minutes. So if you're a part of the Patreon group, you'll get the link, and we'll be on the Zoom channel in just a few minutes. Don't miss it. All right, God bless. I'll talk to you guys soon.